In this older kitchen, we have some downlights. Originally, they were incandescent bulbs. They've been switched out for LED bulbs that use only 9 watts. So why would I switch those out and use ETI LED bulbs that use 15 watts apiece? According to ETI, this is a 30-in-1 downlight. And the way they calculate that is by going 5 times the color temperature. You have color temperatures going from 2700 all the way to 5000 K. And 3 light levels that you can choose from: 700 lumen, 900 lumen, and 1100 lumen. In addition, you have 2 color baffles. Comes standard with white, but there's also a black baffle that's included. And that's how they get to 30. They just multiply those numbers out. Let's see what's actually in the box. Instructions. You get some friction clips should you need them. A socket adapter that goes to a clip on adapter. We have our black baffle, which can be swapped out to replace the white one that comes with the fixture itself. Here are the friction spring clips that are used to hold the device inside the can. And quite literally, they work just how we do on this piece of cardboard. You squeeze the springs, and inside the can, the enclosure, there's a place for these to go in and catch. Now you'll notice that there is a grommet that's included. So this helps seal out heat or cool air from escaping up into the attic, which is very nice. You have 2 switches on the back. The one on the left controls the luminance value. So there are 3 different light levels that you can set. You pick one and that's it, it's set. On the right side is the color temperature value. And again, you pick what you like and then you forget about it. Of course, if you don't like the results of what you've chosen, you just pull it down and readjust. But you won't be adjusting, you'll probably just adjust this one time and then you're done with it. So no smart devices to deal with. It's very straightforward. The really nice thing is this seals the inside of this kitchen from the attic or the space that this is going into with the grommet, which is very nice, as opposed to what we have now, where we have a metal band and then there's a light, and they're not integrated together. So warm air escapes in the winter, cool air escapes in the summer. So this is a much better type of installation to go with. And yes, it's going to cost you an additional few watts to operate, but you get a lot of advantage here, which is nice. Oh, and the socket adapter plugs into here, and that's how this unit will operate. You screw this into the existing socket, and then you get power to the unit. So let's install it. The first thing we'll want to do is de-energize where the circuit is. First thing we'll want to do is de-energize the circuit. Remove the old LED bulb. This baffle is held down by some springs, so we have to reach in there and just unhook those. And that might require a little experimenting to find the hook and how it disengages. And this one has caught somewhere else, but there it goes. You see there are 2 springs on this. There's a little foam pad, but as you can see, this can just lay loosely in the hole. Somebody cut out a hole, the can is slightly smaller than the hole, and that's how this works. Looking inside the can, we see where the bulb attaches, and that's where we're going to screw in our adapter. So you sit it in there and turn clockwise until it catches. And this is why you turn off, because you're actually going to be touching the metal on that adapter as you turn this. So you don't want this to be energized. And then once you're done, you have a cord that's hanging down. And now the one thing you'll have to judge is that there's a wing nut right here. So this can actually ride up and down inside the can. So if you find that your light's hanging too low, you can make an adjustment and move this up even higher. Did you notice these two clips right here? That's where your springs are going to go to. So on the device itself, we have these springs. And what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze these together like so. And you see how they have round ends at the top? Well, you're going to squeeze, get past these two posts, release the spring, and then the curly cues will prevent it from dropping out, and the spring tension will hold it in place. Then you just push the rest of the light into position. But before we can do that, we have to take the other end of our adapter and plug it in to the device. It only fits in one way, it snaps into position. Now we squeeze our spring, and note there's a pair of these, so there's another clip over here that you have to catch. So you have to do both simultaneously. And I've already caught one side, so now you can pay attention to the other side. And there you go. So now all we do is push up. And this feels like it's just a bit hanging. There's an opening there. So what I'm going to do is pull this down, squeeze, squeeze, get the light out of the way, and then I'm going to loosen that wing nut and push my plug just a little bit higher so there's room for this and this connector to clear on the inside. If the wing nut and attaching mount slip off, don't worry. It's just a large hole with a little slide down. So just visually go back in there and just make sure this catches in that eyelet, and then slide it back down, and then you can tighten the wing nut. Since our bulb is actually not connecting to this because it's connecting to the end of this cable, then you can push this all the way up without fear of messing up where the bulb's going to actually land. With the bracket repositioned, we attach our connector, go back underneath, and get the two springs to catch. Make sure the wire's out of the way. And grommet down. We push up on the light. And now that's much better sealed than what we had before. This probably needs some painting, but that's it for the installation. We're done. Energizing the circuit, we get a nice bright light. It's been set to the highest value, and we've set it to white, although I'll probably reset it to something warm because that's what's preferred in this kitchen. Changing the color temperature is as easy as pulling down the lamp, going on the back, and selecting the appropriate number. Here's the light set to a warmer temperature. Now the camera might balance it out back to just white, but it's a more nuanced yellow. So this fits in with the scheme that we would want in the kitchen, and the brightness is at full intensity. And what if you want to switch out to the black baffle? Well, you come with your tool that's included. You go along the edge, pop out the old baffle, drop in the new one, and you're done. If in removing the baffle the lens comes off, just simply snap it back in place, put in your baffle, and you're done. Do note that the ETI comes in a 6 or 4 inch, and that's the housing dimension, so you want to measure across the old housing. In our case, ours was 6.5, so it worked totally fine. The problem we're having is The trim with the ETI extends out to 7.5 inches, whereas the old trim was 8.25 inches, so I'll need to find an adapter. Otherwise, the ETI trim will not cover the entire opening. The advantage to the ETI recessed LED downlight include multi-light levels, multi-color levels, an integrated lamp, a choice of trim colors, very easy installation, no apps are required. Downside, trim ring might be too small for your opening, and of course it uses more power at the higher setting than just your standard ordinary LED screw-in light bulb. If you found this video interesting or useful, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, join the subscription team, and as always, thank you ever so much for watching.